This isn't a trend. It's a quiet exodus. And if you're watching this, you already feel it. That low hum in your chest when you see another couple holding hands and you feel nothing. Or worse, a cold trickle of relief that it isn't you. You've deleted the apps. You've stopped asking for numbers. You come home to a quiet apartment and the silence doesn't scream at you anymore. It feels like peace. Brother, listen close. That peace is a lie. A beautiful, seductive, and very dangerous lie. I built that same lie for myself. I fortified it. I called it freedom. Let me tell you about the man I was. I was the good guy, the planner, the listener. I remembered the birthdays, the names of her friends, her favorite wine. I was a vault for her anxieties, a steady hand in her storms. I believed the modern fairy tale: be emotionally available, be supportive, be safe, and you will be rewarded. You will be chosen. I poured my prime into a mirror, brother. I poured and I poured, watching my own reflection. The strong one, the reliable one, grow brighter and more defined. I thought I was building something permanent. I didn't know I was polishing a surface that could crack with a single word. The crack came on a Tuesday. It's always a Tuesday, isn't it? The day after nothing and the day before everything falls apart. There was no slammed door, no dramatic scene. Just a conversation in a half-lit kitchen, the hum of the refrigerator the only soundtrack. Her words weren't angry. They were clinical. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. You're my best friend, but there's no spark. And I stood there, a statue of a man feeling the hollowness where my devotion used to live. The reflection I'd spent years building shattered, and in the 1,000 jagged pieces I didn't see a monster. I saw a ghost. A pleasant, useful, utterly disposable ghost. That was my betrayal. The moment the illusion I'd sold myself was vaporized by the cold air of reality, the system I'd played by, the rulebook I'd studied, was a forgery. And I was left holding the debt. This feeling you have right now, this withdrawal, it's not some new, enlightened state. It's an ancient biological system going into hibernation. We are hunters, brother, wired for the chase, for the pursuit of a goal that matters. Our nerves are tuned to the thrill of the stalk, the satisfaction of the catch, the primal pride of providing, of protecting. That's the circuit where our dopamine, our sense of meaning, truly flows. But what happens to the hunter when the forest becomes a theme park? When the chase is rebranded as harassment? When the gift of your provision is seen as patriarchal control? When your strength is labeled toxicity and your silence is called complicity? The hunt is neutered. The wires are cut. The deep, humming power of your own biology is treated like a fault, a glitch to be patched out. So you learn to sit still. You ask for permission to feel your own instincts. You turn the pursuit of a woman, a natural, energizing, life-giving force, into a demoralizing walk through a legal and emotional minefield. Every step is anxiety. Every glance is a potential offense. The prize at the end no longer feels like a shared victory. It feels like a negotiated settlement where you've already conceded most of your territory. So, you walk away. Of course you do. Any sane animal abandons a poisoned waterhole. And at first it feels like salvation. This is the mechanism, the great psychological shift. You stop the emotional bleeding. You stop spending $60 on a cocktail for a stranger who's already scrolling through her next option on her phone under the table. You reclaim your nights, you hit the gym, and the weights give you clear, honest feedback, push, and you grow stronger. You work on your career, and your effort translates into a number in a bank account, a tangible result. You play video games, and you achieve your objective. You go for a drive, and you decide where you're going. This is the happiness they don't understand. It's not joy. It's not euphoria. It's the profound, deafening quiet of a battlefield after the guns have fallen silent. It's the relief of no longer having to be a performer in a play where the script changes every night and the director hates you. It's a dopamine detox from the brutal roller coaster of validation and rejection. You trade the spikes for a flatline, and a flatline after the constant cardiac arrest of modern dating feels like nirvana. You see the warning signs in yourself, and you mistake them for wisdom. The deleted apps, the way you instinctively say, "I'm busy," when a friend tries to set you up. The slight, almost imperceptible flinch when an attractive woman smiles at you. A flinch that says, "What will this cost me?" instead of, "What could this be?" Your language changes. "I'm just focusing on myself. It's not worth the headache." I'm at peace. You've built a fortress. You sit inside, surrounded by the things you control, and you tell yourself you're safe. You are whole. But brother, let me tell you what that fortress is really made of. It's not stone, it's scar tissue. And while you're sitting in your quiet castle, you need to understand the social conspiracy that built the moat around it. This isn't an accident, it's a design. A synergistic alliance of systems that profit from your confusion, your desperation, your quiet surrender. The dating industrial complex, the apps, the coaches, the influencers, they don't want you to find a partner. They want to keep you searching. A satisfied customer is a lost customer. They monetize loneliness. They sell you the shovel for your own grave, promising it's a map to treasure. Then there's the cultural narrative, the one that pathologizes your very biology, the one that tells you your desire to lead is control, your desire to protect is condescension, your quiet strength is oppressive. They reframe your natural instincts as sins you must atone for. They want you to be a good boy, a compliant, supplicating, harmless shadow of a man whose primary function is to provide resources and emotional labor without demanding the respect, admiration, or genuine desire that used to be the reciprocal currency of the sexes. They need you broken. A broken man is a controllable man. A man starved for validation will work 3 jobs to buy a diamond he can't afford for a woman who doesn't respect him. A man terrified of being called toxic will silence his own opinions, suppress his own instincts, and apologize for his own existence. He becomes a placid consumer, a reliable taxpayer, a hollow echo of the potential that once roared within him. Your withdrawal is the most rational response to this. It is a silent strike, a boycott of a rigged economy, and it feels like victory, but there is an inevitable collapse. It doesn't come with a scream. It comes on another one of those quiet nights. You're in your fortress. The gym weights are put away. The work laptop is closed. The game is beaten. The silence, which once felt like peace, now has weight. It has a texture. It's the texture of isolation. It's the cold, sterile air of a museum after everyone has gone home. You look at your hands. They are capable. They can build things, fix things, earn things, but they haven't held another hand in months. Years, maybe. You feel a hollow ache in your chest, a cavity that your hobbies, your career, your gains cannot fill. It's the human need for intimacy, for touch, for the soft, warm, terrifying vulnerability of being truly seen by another soul. This need does not disappear because you've decided it's inefficient. It goes dormant. It waits. And in that silent, weighted moment, the bill for your peace comes due. The happiness of quiet desperation reveals its true name: numbness. The fortress you built to protect yourself becomes the walls of your own tomb. You traded the battlefield's chaos for the morgue's order. You correctly identified a poisoned well, brother, but your brilliant solution was to die of thirst. This is the bitter truth, the one that tastes like metal and ashes. Withdrawing is a rational tactic. It is a necessary retreat from a losing battle. But it is a catastrophic strategy for a life of meaning. You have correctly diagnosed the disease, but your prescription's suicide. The system is not coming to save you. No one is riding to the rescue. Your protest, while noble, is invisible. The world will not change because you decided to sit in your room and play video games. It will simply move on, and you will be left behind, a monument to your own prudence slowly turning to dust. Your peace is the peace of a ghost, and a ghost doesn't feel pain, but a ghost doesn't feel anything. So what is the answer? Surrender. Go back to the plantation, put the leash back on and beg for scraps of affection? Number, never. The answer is the solution framework, the sovereign awakening. This is not about going back to the game. It's about transcending it entirely. It's about realizing you were never meant to be a player on their board. You're meant to be the architect of your own world. First, you must build an irrelevant fortress. Not a fortress of solitude, but a fortress of unassailable purpose. You pursue mastery in your craft, in your body, in your mind, not to attract a woman, but because the pursuit itself is what forges a man. You build a life so compelling, so full of meaning and challenge and growth, that the presence or absence of a woman becomes irrelevant to your core stability. She is not the source of your happiness. She's a potential celebrant of the happiness you have already built for yourself. Second, you must reframe the objective. Stop dating to get a woman. That is the language of a beggar. You're not a supplicant, you are a king. Your new mission is this. I am building a legendary life. I am considering if I will invite a woman to share in the glory of that kingdom. The frame shifts completely. You're no longer seeking validation. You're conducting an audit. You are the selector, not the selected. Third, you must embrace polarity, not politeness. The world has tried to sand down the edges of masculinity and femininity into a bland androgynous paste. But attraction doesn't live in the paste. It lives in the spark between the two opposite poles. Reconnect with your core masculine energy, not as a cartoonish alpha, but as a grounded, decisive, and purpose-driven force. Stop negotiating for desire. Lead. Create a vision. Take responsibility. A woman's feminine energy is not awakened by your negotiation, but by your unwavering strength. Stop being a good boy or a bad boy. Be a real man, a man who owns his space, his mission, and his life. Finally, adopt the warrior's spirit, not the victim's. The modern landscape is not an unfair tragedy to be wept over. It is challenging terrain to be navigated. It is the dragon to your knight. See it as such. Stop complaining about the thorns and learn to wear better armor. Your mission is to navigate this world with strength, discernment, and unwavering self-respect. Your goal is not to be liked. Your goal is to be effective, to be powerful, to be free. Your withdrawal was the first necessary painful step. It was the moment you realized you were in a cage. But staring at the open door, too afraid to walk out into the unknown, is just a bigger, more comfortable cage. The true peace you're searching for isn't the absence of conflict. It's the presence of a purpose so profound that conflict becomes just another part of the landscape. It's the unshakable confidence of a man who knows who he is, what he stands for, and what he is building. That man doesn't need to withdraw. He's too busy creating. That man doesn't hide from the battlefield. He defines the terms of the war. That man is not happier for leaving the dating world behind. He is powerful enough to re-enter it on his own terms, to see it for what it is, and to engage from a place of absolute, unshakable abundance. The path out of the quiet tomb is not back toward the broken system. It is upward, toward the summit of your own potential. Build your kingdom, brother. Forge your purpose. Let your life become so bright, so potent, so undeniably yours that the shadows of the old game can no longer touch you. The silence isn't your sanctuary, it's your anvil. Now go and hammer yourself into a weapon the world has forgotten how to make. Brother, if this truth hit you like a freight train, if it echoed in the hollow spaces you've been ignoring, then do this for yourself. Smash that like button. Let it be your first act of reclaiming your voice. Drop your story in the comments, not as a victim, but as a warrior sharing intel. And most importantly, subscribe to PsycheHavoc. This isn't the end of the conversation, it's the beginning. Arm yourself with the next layer of truth, because the shadows are deep and we build our fires brighter together.